What's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another DC Universe Classics action figure review on not a DC UC figure, but the DC Comics Multiverse, the Flash TV series, The Flash. If you're trying to pick one of these, you can get them now. The Target. I got it at Target, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I just saw this figure over there along with the Green Arrow, and I like this packaging for these 6-inch figures. I think we've seen this packaging before for the 3¾ inch scale, where it looked similar to this anyway, and comparing it to a Marvel Legend packaging right there. Still need to get this customized. I want to get a Hank Pym. Anyway, on the side you can see there's not much going on, and then on the back you can see the Build-A-Figure or the Collect and Connect Justice Buster, not inspired by the Hulk Buster, right? No, not at all. Anyway, you can see other figures from the Wave, and then on this side you can see some info on Barry Allen, and there he is making a scared face. Alright, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Flash out of the packaging. Wow, if there's a figure that makes it look like you can't pose figures with a damn, this is it over here. The articulation on this figure is absolutely horrendous and terribly outdated. However, I will say there are some really good points about the sculpted work on this figure that I do like, and I really like the paint apps a lot. Now, they did something that Hasbro does where they applied more paint apps to the front of the figure and a lot less to the back, but it's not terribly noticeable. Well, you can see the cutoff right over there, but I think for the most part paint looks good on this thing. It's just the articulation is just So here's a look at the one accessory that the figure comes with, and that's the Justice Buster Iron Man Build-A-Figure the Justice Buster Batman Build-A-Figure piece over here, or Collect and Connect piece. Very soft material on this thing. You know, I can't get too upset about, you know, how much this reminds me of Hulk Buster, especially because Marvel's had their share of ripping stuff off from DC. Looks like it could be cool. Looks like it needs some heat to straighten out some of these parts though. So here's a look at the head sculpt, not looking too shabby. I mean, it does look like a disappointed Barry Allen, but it still reminds me of the Barry Allen from the TV show, so I don't think it looks too bad. I like the flesh tone, the color for the mouth looks good, the eyes look really nice, and I really like the mask over here too, and I really love that gold paint right there on the side. That's awesome. You can see the little sculpted lines, the lightning bolts going right over there. You get some nice black mixed in with this very dark red color. Really digging that a lot. Then you can see on the back over here it continues, and then you can see it kind of disappears right over there. But they still added the gold, so it's not like they completely, you know, just stopped painting the figure. And then, wow, that's a lot of text on the butt. But going back to the rest of this figure, I mean, I really like this sculpted detail over here. The gold paint came out looking very clean. I love the black mixed in there. I just think that looks great. Again, some nice sculpted detail on the hands. So it looks very realistic, very accurate to the show. And I like how this looks right over here, the Speed Force logo. Really liking that a lot. Is that the Speed Force logo or is that the Flash logo? I don't know. I might be wrong about that. I always thought that was a Speed Force logo though, you know, especially because you see it on Reverse Flash and everything. But looking at the pants over here, you get these lines sculpted going down here, which looks a little bit strange to me. Kind of reminds me of corduroy, which I don't think is very suiting for this. But anyway, you get some nice added black over there, and the gold looks really nice. And coming down here at the bottom, I really like these shoes a lot. I like the gold that they added to it, you know? Just love that gold. Then you get the peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and a little bit of tread sculpted over there. So, you know, like I said, the sculpt isn't too bad as far as the details go, you know? But the proportions just seem a little bit off to me. I don't know. There's just something about it. I feel like the legs are too short or something like that. It just looks a little bit weird. Anyway, getting into the articulation, you can turn the head side to side. It does not move up. It moves down just the tiniest bit. So barely any up and down, and definitely no head pivot over there. Shoulders move outward only that much, which is just very limited. They move forward. He has an elbow bend that's about 90 degrees. That's a nice 90 degrees. It rotates side to side. You get a swivel at the wrist, and I wish it would hinge up and down at the wrist. That would be nice. You also get a waist swivel over here. No ab crunching at all. You get the gaping DCUC crotch pits, which need to get retired soon, man. Come on. Anyway, they kick forward like that, move backward. You get a mid-thigh cut right over there. You get a single jointed knee. Then the ankles move down. They move up quite a bit, and absolutely no ankle pivot. Come on, man. It's 2016. Don't you know by now? Give it ankle pivot. So this is a 6-inch scale figure. You can see Flash is standing a little over 6 inches tall. Then here's a Flash compared to some DC cinematic versions of our superheroes. We have Green Lantern and then Superman and Batman from the Dawn of Justice SDCC 2-pack. I have seen the Batman retail version a couple of times and have passed both times because I'm very unhappy with this figure. So yeah, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Then here's our TV show Flash next to our comic version of Flash from DC Icons by DC Collectibles. And I am aware DC Collectibles did make a TV version of the Flash figure, but as crazy as it sounds, I prefer this one because it fits in with my other DC superheroes from the movies. And then here's a Flash next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Yeah, your suit doesn't look too bad, but could you do this? Or could you do this? Nah, you can't. See, that's why you deserve this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. 2016 beyond! So there are things that I do like about this figure, but the articulation is just so outdated. I actually think this Ryan Reynolds figure here has more points of articulation than this 2016 Flash. I think Mattel just really needs to step up their game. Everybody else has except for them. It just seems that way. Anyway, I'm gonna pose this guy with my other Movie Masters figures. Anyway, I hope you guys liked my review. If you did, please hit the like button. Click any of these boxes over here if you want more Shart in your face. If you want to support the YouTube channel, go ahead and check out the Patreon account. Also, if you're any age, you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to go to toynewseye.com for the latest in action figure news. I'll catch you guys later. Bye!
Imposing action figures, imposing action figures, imposing action figures every day. Imposing